In an increasingly changing, competitive, and value-oriented environment, the role of the PM officer emerges as an indispensable strategic figure for any organization aiming to professionalize its execution and generate real impact. More than just a project manager, the PM officer is a transformation leader, a value architect, and a connector between strategy and operations. Their perspective encompasses the constant evolution of the business and the need to deliver sustainable results over time. However, from my point of view, I consider it a mistake made by 99% of organizations and professionals, even in 2025, continuing to believe that the PMO is a role, a person, or a specific position. This structural confusion limits its potential and distorts its true purpose. The PMO is not a job position. It is a project, product, program, or portfolio management office, a cross-functional organizational unit composed of multiple professional profiles that vary depending on the industry, culture, and adopted approach, agile, hybrid, predictive, or product. It is under this modern and strategic understanding that it becomes urgent to rethink how we design, lead, and evaluate our PMOs. And this is where the new PMO Value Ring Framework comes into play, which we will use to support us in this mission. Transform the project management and product offices, PMO, by decoding the 6 domains of the new PMO Value Ring Framework of the Project Management Institute, PMI, and the PMO Global Alliance. As an introduction, I want to mention that in a business environment marked by technological disruption, digital acceleration, and the urgency to generate tangible value, project and product management offices, PMOs, face a profound transformation. Today, PMOs must position themselves as catalysts for change, strategic facilitators, and generators of real value for our organizations, of course led by a PM officer. Some companies even identify this role as Director of PMO or Project Management Officer, and not managed as a functional, operational, or worse, merely administrative PMO. I have seen too many times how some organizations still conceive of the PMO as a department that only takes meeting minutes, manages documents, sends emails, shares project manager agendas, and coordinates meetings. That approach belongs to the last century. It does not meet the current business demands nor the strategic potential that a true PMO can and should represent. As a professional who has led multiple PMOs in the role of PM officer, and also from my position as a strategic consultant for executive sponsors, they are always the classic executive roles like CEO, CIO, CTO, COO, or the ones currently being created such as Innovation Management Officer or similar roles. In global and dynamic contexts, I have been a direct witness to this evolution. I have learned that rigid structures are no longer sustainable and that we need flexible, modular, and internally customer-centric models that allow us to adapt to the changing pace of business, integrating capabilities in product, technology, innovation, and strategic value. With this more comprehensive vision, the new PMO Value Ring Framework has become an essential tool to redefine the role of our offices, connecting strategy with execution and, most importantly, with results. In this context, the framework has proven to be a powerful platform for adapting PMOs to different levels of organizational maturity, industries, and changing technological realities, especially when applied in an integrated manner with the new PMO Practical Guide published by PMI in 2025. Objective. The purpose of this article is to share, from my practical experience, an in-depth and applied view of the 6 key domains of the PMO Value Ring Framework, highlighting how these pillars enable PMOs to operate with purpose, adaptability, and strategic relevance. Through this analysis, I aim to 1. Show the paradigm shift towards a value-generating PMO. 2. Explain each domain with a practical and contextualized approach. 3. Share real examples I have experienced leading global PMOs or supporting strategic sponsors. 4. promote critical reflection to drive the maturity of our offices and teams. Now let's talk about the 6 key domains of the PMO Value Ring Framework. Let's start with Module 1, Organizational Development and Alignment. One of the biggest challenges I faced when leading PMOs in complex environments was achieving true strategic alignment. This domain allows us to understand the organizational context, support transformation, and connect our actions with the company's vision and mission. As an example, in a multinational organization, we redesigned the project portfolio after a merger, ensuring that each initiative aligned with the new global strategic objectives. Module 2, Strategic Elements of the PMO. Every PMO needs a clear value proposition. In my experience, defining and communicating the mission, vision, and expected outcomes of the PMO was essential to gain support from the C-level and achieve institutional legitimacy. An example we can mention is when we created a visual strategic map that connected our services with the key performance indicators of the business, demonstrating real impact on growth, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. Module 3, Design and Structuring of the PMO. There is no single PMO structure that works for everyone. I learned that we should tailor it to the needs of the business, considering governance, operational model, stakeholders, and capabilities. As an example, I can mention when I had the opportunity to lead the transition from a functional PMO to an enterprise PMO in a technology company, integrating agile and predictive services for projects and products. Module 4, Operation and Performance of the PMO. This domain relates to disciplined execution. The daily operation of the PMO must be efficient, data-driven, and scalable. Here, technology plays a key role. An example can be when we implemented a portfolio management system that automated reports, risk alerts, and interactive dashboards for executives. Module 5, Improvement and Effectiveness of the PMO. A PMO that does not evolve is doomed to lose relevance. Throughout my career, I have promoted periodic maturity assessments and evaluations to redesign services based on business feedback. An example is when we managed to detect that our stakeholders wanted faster results, we redesigned our services to offer minimum viable product and quick wins through iterative cycles. Module 6. People. Finally, no PMO can succeed without a competent, motivated team with a service-oriented mindset. This domain highlights the importance of leadership, capabilities, and organizational culture. An example can be when we design a professional growth path for PMO members, including mentoring, technical training, and soft skills development. In conclusion, I want to share my vision as a PMO officer, university professor, and PMO consultant about how I have experienced the evolution of PMOs from administrative structures to centers of innovation, agility, and strategy. The advent of technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and intelligent automation has raised the bar for our functions, but it has also opened new opportunities to reposition the PMO as an essential enabler of organizational value. That's why I believe the new PMO Value Ring Framework is not just a useful tool for organizations looking to implement their first PMO or transform an existing one. It's a way of thinking, a leadership approach, and a platform for generating real and measurable value. Because adopting its 6 domains does not guarantee immediate success, but it does provide a coherent, flexible, and customer-focused roadmap capable of completely transforming the impact of the PMO in any organization. However, it is essential to understand that these 6 domains work synergistically with the 10 steps of the value generation wheel. Break time, 5 seconds. Both elements, domains and steps, must be addressed together to confidently lead a modern, effective, and sustainable PMO. The complete framework allows for managing the present efficiently, and preparing for the future with vision. Today, more than ever, the PMOs that generate value not only survive. Despite what some might think, I sincerely believe that we are indispensable in every 21st century organization. And you, what do you think? I'll read you in the comments.